This time 9 years ago, and my friends, summer of 1913. Gradual changes in Rovers Corners. Horses are getting rarer. Farmers are coming into town in Fords, and people are locking their house doors now at night. There haven't been any burglars in town yet, but they've heard about them. You'd be surprised, though, on the whole. Things don't change much around here. This is certainly an important part of Rovers Corners. It's on a hilltop. It's a windy hilltop. With lots of sky and lots of clouds, and often lots of sun and moon and stars. You come up here on a fine afternoon, you can see range on range of hills. Awful blue they are up by Lake Sunapee and Lake Winnipesaukee. And if you go further up, and if you use a glass, you can see White Mountains and Mount Washington, up where Conway and North Conway are. And of course, our favorite mountain, Mount Monadnock, is right here. And the towns that lie around it, Jaffrey and East Jaffrey and Peterborough and Dublin, and there. Quite a ways down is Rovers Corners. It's a beautiful spot up here with the mountain laurel and lilac. I often wondered why people want to be buried in Woodlawn or Brooklyn when they might pass the same time away up here in New Hampshire. Over here are the old stones. 1670, 1680. Strong-minded people that have come a long way to be independent. Summer people walk around laughing at the funny markings on their tombstones. It don't do any harm. Genealogists come up from Boston, get paid by the city people to look up their ancestors to see if they're daughters of the American Revolution or the Mayflower. I guess that don't do any harm either. Wherever you come near the human race, there's layers and layers of nonsense. Over here, there's some Civil War veterans. Iron flags on their graves, the New Hampshire boys. They had the notion that the Union ought to be kept together, though they'd never seen more than 50 miles of it themselves. All they knew were the name, friends, the United States of America. The United States of America. And they went and died about it. Over here is the new part of the cemetery. There's your friend Mrs. Gibbs. And let's see, Mr. Stimson, the organist from the Congregational Church. And Mrs. Soames, who enjoyed the wedding so, you remember. Oh, and a whole lot of others. And Editor Webb's boy, Wallace, whose appendix burst while on a Boy Scout trip to Crawford Notch. A whole lot of sorrow has sort of quieted down up here. People bring their relatives up on this hill. You know how it is. And then time. And sunny days and rainy days and snow. We're all glad that they're up in this beautiful place. And we're coming up here ourselves when our fit's over. Now there's some things we all know, but we don't take them out and look at them very often. We all know that something is eternal. And it ain't houses, and it ain't names, and it ain't earth, it ain't even the stars. Everybody knows in their bones that something's eternal. And that something has to do with human beings. All the greatest people in the world ever lived have been telling us that for 5,000 years. Yet you'd be surprised how we keep losing hold of that fact. There's something way down deep that's eternal about every human being. You know as well as I do that the dead don't stay interested in us living people very long. Gradually, they lose hold of the earth and the ambitions they had and the pleasures they had and the things they suffered and the ones that they loved. They get weaned away from the earth. That's the way I put it, weaned away. And they come up here while the earth part of them burns away. burns out. And all that time, they slowly get indifferent to what's going on in Grover's Corners. They're waiting. They're waiting for something they feel is coming. Something important and great. Aren't they waiting for the eternal part of them to come out clear? Now, some of the things they're going to say to you may hurt your feelings. That's the way it is. Mother and daughter, husband and wife, enemy and enemy, money and miser. All those terribly important things sort of grow pale around here. And what's left when your memory is gone? And your identity, Mrs. Hill? Well, there's some living people. There's Joe Stoddard, our undertaker, supervising a new-made grave. And there's a Grover's Corners boy who left town to go out west.
Good afternoon, Joe Stoddard.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me see, do I know you?
It's Sam Craig.
Gracious sakes alive of all people. I should have known you'd be back with us at the funeral, Sam. You've been away a long time.
Yeah, I've been away for 12 years. Well, this is South Buffalo now, Joe. But I was in the East and I got news of my cousin's death. I thought I'd combine things and we'll come out and see the old one. You look well?
Yes, can't complain. Very sad we're hearing today, Samuel.
Yes, it is.
I always say I hate to supervise when the other person's been taken. They'll be here in a few minutes now. I came here early today. My son's supervising at the home.
This, Mr. Carter, I used to do chores for him after school. He had that lumbago.
We brought Farmer Carter up here 2 years ago now.
It's my Aunt Julia. You know, I forgot that she, of course.
Yes, Doc Gibbs lost his wife 3-4 years ago now. About this time. And today's another pretty bad blow for him too.
That's my sister Carrie's boy, Sam. Sam Craig.
I'm always uncomfortable when they're around.
Simon.
They choose their own verses much, Joe?
No, not usual. Mostly the bereaved pick a verse.
Doesn't sound like my Aunt Julia. Tell me the Mercy sisters left now. Joe, I want to see my mother, my father's.
Over with the Craigs, Avenue Cafe.
Hey, he was the organist at church, wasn't he? He used to drink a lot, he used to say.
Nobody was supposed to know about that. He'd seen a peck of trouble. Took his own life, you know.
Did he?
Hung himself in the attic. He picked his own epitaph there. You can see it, it's not really a verse.
It's just some notes of music. What is it?
I have no idea. It was written up in the Boston papers about that time.
Joe, what did she die of?
Who?
My cousin.
You didn't know? She had some trouble bringing a baby into the world. It was her second. There's a little boy, about 4 years old.
Your grave's going to be over there?
Yes. There isn't much more room over here among the Gibbses, so they've opened up a whole new Gibbs section. You'll excuse me, I hear them coming.
Who is it, Julia? My daughter-in-law, Emily Webb. Well, I'll be. The road up there must have been awfully muddy. What did she die of, Julia? In childbirth. Childbirth? I'd forgotten all about that. Why, wasn't life awful? And wonderful.
Wonderful, was it?
Simon. Now remember, I remember wedding. Wasn't that a lovely wedding? I remember her reading the class poem at graduation exercises. Emily was one of the brightest girls that ever graduated from high school. I heard Principal Wilkins say so time and time again. I called on them at their new farm just before I died. Perfectly beautiful farm. It's on the same road we lived on.
Yep, right smart farm.
I always liked that. I was hoping they'd sing it again.
Hello. Hello, Emily. Hello, dear Emily. Hello. It's raining. Yes. They'll be gone soon, dear. Just rest. Seems thousands and thousands of years since I... Oh, Papa remembered that was my favorite hymn. I wish I'd been here a long time. I don't like being new here. How do you do, Mr. Stimson?
How do you do, Emily?
Mother Gibbs, George and I have made that farm into just the best place you ever saw. Well, we wanted to show you the new barn and the great long drinking fountain for the stock that we bought out of the money that you left us. I do? Don't you remember the legacy you left us? Why, Mother Gibbs, it was over $350.
Yes. Yes, Emily.
Well, there's a patent device on this drinking fountain so that it never overflows and it never falls below a certain mark they have there. It's fine. It won't be the same to George without me, but it's a lovely farm. A lot of people don't understand, do they?
No, dear. Not very much.
They're sort of shut up in little boxes, aren't they? I feel as though I knew them last 1,000 years ago. My boy is spending the day at Mrs. Carter's. Oh, Mr. Carter, my little boy is spending the day at your house.
Is he?
Yes, he loves it there. Mother Gibbs, we have a Ford, too. Never gives us any trouble. I don't drive, though. Mother Gibbs, when does this feeling go away of being one of them? How long is it?
Dear, just rest and be patient.
I know. Look, they're finished. They're going. Look, Father Gibbs is bringing some of my flowers to you. He looks just like George, doesn't he, Mother Gibbs? I never knew how troubled and how in the dark live persons are. Look at him. I loved him so. From morning till night, that's all they are. Trouble.
A little cooler than it was.
Yes, the rain's cooled it off a little bit.
Those northeast winds always do the same, don't they?
It isn't rain, it's a 3-day flow. Oh, Mother Gibbs! One can go back there. One can go back there into living again. I feel it. Oh, I know it. What? Just for a minute, I was thinking about the farm, and for a moment I was there. With my baby on my lap as plain as day.
Yes, of course you
I
can.
can go back there and live all those days over again. Why not?
All I can say, Emily, is don't.
But it's true, isn't it? I can go back there into living again.
Yes, some have tried, but they soon come back here.
Don't do it, Emily.
Emily, don't. This is what you think it would be. Oh, but I wouldn't live over a sad day. I'll choose a happy one. I choose the day when I knew I first loved George. Why should that be painful?
You not only live it, but you watch yourself living it.
Yes.
And as you watch it, you see the thing that they down there never know. You see the future. You know what's going to happen afterwards.
But is that painful? Why?
That's not the only reason why why you shouldn't do it, Emily. When you've been here longer, you'll understand that our life here is to forget all that. And to think only of what's ahead. And to be ready for what's ahead. When you've been here longer, you'll understand.
But Mother Gibbs, how could I ever forget that life? That's all I had. That's all I know.
Emily, it isn't wise, really it isn't.
But it's something I must know for myself. I'll choose a happy day.
No, at least choose an unimportant day. Choose the least important day of your life. It will be important enough.
Then it can't be since I was married or since the baby was born. I can choose a birthday at least, can't I? Oh, I choose my 12th birthday.
All right. February 11th, 1899, a Tuesday. You want any special time of day?
Oh, I want the whole day.
We'll begin at dawn. You remember it had been snowing for several days, and it just stopped the night before. It just began clearing the roads. Look, the sun's coming up.
Why, there's Main Street. Oh, and there's Mr. Morgan's drugstore before he changed it, and the livery stable.
Yes, this is 1899. This is 14 years ago.
Oh, this is the town I knew as a little girl. Oh, and look, there's the old white fence that used to be around our home. Oh, I'd forgotten that. Oh, I love it so. Are we inside?
Yes. Your mother will be coming down in a minute to make breakfast.
Will she?
And you remember, your father had been away for several days. He just came back in the early morning train. He went back to make a speech at his college back in western New York at Clinton.
Oh, and there's Howie Newsom. Oh, look, there's our policeman. Oh, but he's dead. But he died.
Morning.
Morning.
Go Buffalo, Bill.
Oh, been rescuing a party. Down near froze to death by Polish town there. Oh, I got drunk. Lay out in the snowdrifts. Thought he was in bed when I shook him.
Oh, look, there's Joe Kroll.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Warren. Morning, Howie.
Children, Molly, Emily, time to get up. Mama, I'm here. Oh, look how young Mama looks. Oh, I never knew that Mama could ever look so young. You can come and dress by the kitchen fire if you like, but hurry. Oh, good morning, Mr. Newsom. Ooh, it's cold.
Yeah, 10 below by my barn, but
Think of it. Keep yourself wrapped up. Mama, I can't find my blue hair ribbon anywhere. Just open your eyes, dear, that's all. I laid it out for you special on the dresser there. If it were a snake, it would bite you. Yes, yes.
Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mr. Webb. You're up early.
Yes, just been back to my old college in New York State. Getting into trouble here?
Well, got called up this morning to rescue some Polish fella. Down here froze to death he was.
We must get it in the paper.
Wasn't much.
Good morning, Mother.
How'd it go, Charles?
I guess. I told them a few things. Everything all right here?
Yes, can't think of anything that's happened special. Been right cold. Howie Newsom says it's 10 below over in his barn.
Yeah, well, it's colder than that down at Hamilton College. Students' ears are well up. Christian. Paper have any mistakes in it?
Not that I noticed. Coffee's ready when you want it. Charles, don't forget, it's Emily's birthday. Did you remember to get her something?
Yeah, got something right here. Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
Don't interrupt her now, Charles. You can see her at breakfast. She's slow enough as it is. Hurry up, children! It's 7 o'clock. I don't want to call you again. Oh, I can't bear it. Oh, they're so young and so beautiful. Why did they ever have to get old? Oh, Mama, I'm here. I'm all grown up. I love you all. Everything. Oh, I I want you to grow up and be a good, strong girl. That there in the blue paper is from your Aunt Carrie, and I think you can guess who brought the postcard album. I found it on the doorstep when I brought in the milk. George Gibbs must have come over in the cold pretty early. Right nice of him.
George, I'd forgotten that.
Chew that bacon good and slow. It'll help keep you warm on a cold day.
Mama, look at me 1 minute as though you really saw me. Mama, 14 years have gone by. I'm dead. You're a grandmother, Mama. I married George Gibbs, Mama. Oh, Wally's dead too. Mama, his appendix burst on a camping trip to Crawford Notch. We felt just terrible about it. Don't you remember? But Mama, just for a moment now, we're all together. Mama, just for a moment now, we're all happy. Let's look at one another.
That in the yellow paper is something I found in the attic among your grandmother's things. You're old enough to wear it now, and I thought you'd like it.
And this is from you. Oh, it's just lovely, and it's just what I wanted. It's beautiful.
Well, I hoped you'd like it. Hunt it all over. Your Aunt Nora couldn't find one in Concord, so I had to send all the way to Boston. Oh, Wally's got something for you, too. He made it in manual training class, and he's very proud of it. So be sure to make a big fuss about it. Your father has a surprise for you, too. Not sure what it is myself. Shh. Here he comes.
Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
I can't go on. We don't have time to look at one another. I didn't realize. All that was happening, and we never noticed. Take me back up the hill to my grave. No, wait. One more work. Goodbye. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, Grover's Corners. Mama and Papa. Goodbye to clocks ticking and Mama's sunflowers. Oh, and food and coffee. Oh, and new iron dresses and hot baths and sleeping and waking up. Oh, Earth. You're too wonderful for anybody to realize you. Do any human beings ever realize life while they live it every minute?
No. Saints and poets, maybe? They do so.
I'm ready to go back.
Were you happy?
No. I should have listened to you. Just blind people, that's all human beings are.
Look, it's clearing up. The stars are coming.
Oh, Mr. Stimson, I should have listened to them.
Yes. Now you know. Now you know. That's what it was to be alive. To move about in a cloud of ignorance. To go up and down, trampling on the feelings of those about you. To spend and waste time as though you had 1,000,000 years. To always be at the mercy of one self-centered passion or another. Now you know. That's the happy existence you wanted to go back to. Ignorance and blindness.
Simon Stimson. That is not the whole truth, and you know it. Emily. Emily, look at that star. I forget its name.
My boy Joel was a sailor. He knew them all. He'd sit on the porch evenings and tell them all by name. That was wonderful. The star is mighty good company.
Yes, it is.
one of them coming.
That's funny. This is no time for one of them to be here. Goodness sakes. Oh, Mother Gibbs, it's George.
Dear, just rest.
It's George.
And my boy Joel, who knew the star? He used to say it took millions of years for that little speck of light to get to Earth. Don't know that a body could believe it, but that's what he'd say. Millions of years.
Goodness, that is no way to behave. He ought to be home. Mother Gibbs.
Yes, Emily?
They don't understand, do they?
No, dear. They don't understand.
Most everybody's asleep in Grover's Corners. There was a few lights on. Shorty Hawkins over at the depot just watched the Albany train go by. And over at the delivery stable, somebody's sitting up late and talking. Yes, it's clear enough. The stars are doing their old crisscross journey in the skies. The scholars haven't settled on that matter yet. They seem to agree that there's no living beings up there, just chalk or fire. And only this one is straining away all the time to make something of itself. And it strains away so bad that every 16 hours everybody has to lay down and take a rest. It's 7 o'clock in Grover's Corners. You get a good rest too. Drive safely, and good night.